I was in television news, when I would hire people to come in, I would ask them about attitude. Television news is brutally hard. Working nights, weekends, holidays, understaffed, and many people, if they come in with negative attitudes, it will get to them. I've seen it just eat people alive. When you're in TV news, you get asked to do a lot in the community. How much are you involved in the community? I mean, really involved, not just sort of lending your name or sending some money, but being involved. There's a local bank here where you cannot move to the top levels, one of the VP positions, unless you're heavily involved in the local charity. Not just serving soup once a year at the mission, but heavily involved. And one of the things I learned early on to make it work in customer service is to get heavily involved with the community and always have a good, upbeat attitude. In the thousands of conversations I had with viewers that watched me over the years, the thing I got the most was, we like your enthusiasm, your positive attitude, and you look like you care. And the thing we used to tell people is get involved with the community. And there's the tripod approach in running the steps. Some TV people would come in and say, I'm required to do 2 community things a month, that's what I'll do. Others would like, I'd love to do whatever. How to build a positive attitude and keep the darn thing. That's a 2-hour or half-day seminar I developed about 7 years ago. I was doing a keynote called Stoke the Fire Within at some conferences, and they said, can you build what's called a breakout session? And so I don't know where I came up with that title. And the first time in Chicago at an insurance conference, I was in a room like this, and the room just filled up with people. I'm not a nationally known speaker, but they saw that title, How to Build a Positive Attitude and Keep the Darn Thing. And they got to the point where I was pressed against the wall, because I think everyone is looking for a few more tools to stay as positive as possible. We all are challenged in our attitude. You know, even Mr. Positive Attitude guy up here can get negative at times. And so in the book coming out, I share a lot of tools and insights from speaking all over. I ask people a lot of times in half-day programs, what do you do to stay positive? And I've got some really good ideas. I saved them, and I've put them in there. But one of the things is self-talk. You know, that's something we all battle with, especially a lot of the people that work for you. You all as customer service managers and such, I'm sure are pretty positive. But a lot of times you've got people come in that can be ornery and cranky, and that's not a good thing out on the floor. And so I've got a chapter in there on self-talk, and one of the things I joke about this, but if you ever have a negative thought, and if you're in line at a credit union or bank or whatever, to make sure you don't do it again, anytime you have a negative thought, just stand there and go, and you won't do it, you know. You're not going to do that. But I like to share the story of this. There were 2 Indians by the fire, and one was an elder, and the other was a young warrior. And the elder said, there are 2 wolves fighting within me. One is dark and dirty and mean, and the other is light and loving and kind. And the young warrior said, which one wins these battles? And the elder said, the one I feed the most. And that it is with thoughts. What thoughts are we feeding? And when a negative thought comes in, you know, there's different things you can do. One person told me that they pretend their thoughts are channels, and she changes the channel. She got that from listening to Joel Osteen speak in his books, and that's something that she does. Another person keeps a little rubber band, and if has a negative thought, whack, she thwacks herself, and that works for her. Another lady said she sends Jesus to the door to deal with that thought. Another one told me about the show Dragnet. Sometimes with thoughts we start to get a little crazy and make up things almost, make things worse than what they appear. And Sergeant Joe Friday there, when he would interview people and they would start to ramble a little bit, he'd say, just the facts, ma'am. And that it is with thoughts, you know, just the real thoughts, not conjuring up something or something that might happen negative. What are just the facts? Another one says they pretend like they have a vacuum cleaner up there. Just take them out. All different things. And then another lady, Dr. Ruth Warren, who used to be principal at Clay High, said her thought life changed when she read the book Learned Optimism by Martin Seligman, S-E-L-I-G-M-A-N. And she has written me several times on Facebook when I post about attitude about how much that book meant for her.